One of the key functions of human resources is to make sure that the organization's jobs work, that they work well, and work well together with other parts of the overall operation. It's necessary to know the work and to design jobs accordingly. In workflow design, managers take a good look at the task which needs to be performed in order to produce the business's product or service. Now, a job is the overall set of duties, while a position is the set of duties performed by an individual. A key in smooth functioning can begin with a workflow analysis. Now here, human resources is involved in identifying the amount and quality of a work unit's output, determining the work processes required for desired outputs, and identifying the inputs needed to carry out the outputs. Now the inputs consist of what we call the raw materials and the information that go into the product. There's the equipment and the human resources or the people needed to get the job done. The output is what is actually produced, either a product or a service. The output can be tangible, such as a finished car or a restaurant meal, or it can be intangible, such as an insurance policy or a radio station's broadcast of a music, news, or talk program. The workflow can consist of all the efforts that go into all of the components that make up the final product, and not just the work on the final product itself. Now this can involve hundreds, maybe even thousands of pieces or actions, and the people all along the way. It's part of human resources processes to consider all of these and make them work together as efficiently and effectively as possible. The idea is to use the right number of people, equipment, and supplies to always be able to do the job well, but to avoid overstaffing, unnecessary equipment, and buildups of inventory. If business increases, the means are available to meet the demand, and if the demand declines, the business is not stuck with too much inventory and shouldn't have to lay off too many workers. Workflow and organizational structure are directly related. There needs to be a cooperative relationship among and between work units and individual employees. Sometimes the relationship may be under centralized control, where there are circumstances when that control is decentralized and handled closer to the actual job level. In highly specialized activities, it's likely that people would be grouped according to the functions they perform. Now you might get groups that work together, such as engineers, bus drivers, construction workers, but there can also be cases where people are grouped into divisions. An aerospace corporation, for example, might have a commercial airplanes division, a military airplanes division, and a space and high technology division. All along the way, there are elements of jobs that human resources must analyze. It's necessary to gather detailed information. There are job descriptions, job specifications, along with knowledge, skills, and abilities needed to carry out those functions. In all of this, there are human resource management responsibilities, including workflow design and redesign, human resource planning, the selection of employees, and training them. Now, beyond these considerations, there's evaluating the performance of employees, determining their pay, and possible raises and bonuses, even going a step further to help employees with career planning. The job description is the overall umbrella definition of the job, the tasks, the duties, and the responsibilities. Now these are called the TDRs. The job description gives the title of the position and lists the functions, the things the person in the job will do, and how well these functions are to be performed will tie directly into future pay and promotions. The job description also provides a guideline to keeping the process fair in selecting successful candidates and evaluating job performance. The job description is one of the first steps an organization takes when it creates a new job. It explains the job and specifically what is expected of the person in that position. In advertising an opening, the job description can also be merged with job specifications. Now, job specifications are the requirements of the job. These are the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other attributes that go with the position. Professionally, these characteristics are known as the KSAOs. The knowledge part of the KSAO is simply knowing what it takes to successfully do the job. Presumably, the courses you're taking contribute to your overall learning of what you will need for your future jobs. Skill is the developed ability to do the job well, An ability is more general and intangible in a term that applies individual characteristics to situations and maybe sizing up a person's total background to believe that he or she would be good at doing a particular thing. Now, I think that as a kid, I might have had the athletic ability, for instance, to develop into a pretty decent baseball player. But instead, I developed my running skills to be on the track team and never really did learn how to actually play baseball at a high level. So skills and abilities are a bit different. Then there's that term other, which is a catch-all phrase to say that an employee will need to adapt to the needs of the task at hand. It's basically a response to the old, "it's not my job" description to do that. Oh, yes, it is. It's up to the Human Resources Department to write job descriptions that are clear and complete. Now, this makes the job description understandable and fair in applying standards to everyone. In collecting job information, Human Resources can go to those actually doing the job, supervisors, or outside experts. There are also written materials available with information about specific occupations and what it takes to make those in those positions successful. Now, these sources include the Dictionary of Occupational Titles and the Occupational Information Network called the O-Net. Research agencies can also help with positional analysis questionnaires. The PAQ, as it's called, can ask a long list of questions dealing with information input of where and how a worker gets information for the job. Mental processes that deal with reasoning, planning, decision-making, work output, and the actual activities, tools, and other equipment used on the job, the relationships with other persons, job context, and the other characteristics that may not be specifically listed but that are still important for the job. The job analysis can be called the building block of human resources. Effective job analysis deals with work redesign to make a job more efficient, resource planning to know exactly what's needed to do the job, selection to put the best able people in the positions, training to make sure workers know their jobs and continue to learn on the job. Performance appraisals help employees improve and maintain high-quality work. Career planning, there's job evaluation to assess the importance of the position within the company and how much to pay those doing the job. Job analysis is also important in helping a firm stay on solid legal ground. There are numerous laws and regulations, for instance, that must be followed. An effective job analysis helps keep an employer in compliance. In an investigation, a government agency will want to see an organization's job analysis. It's also important for a firm to continually update its job analysis. The business world is changing. Often errors in job analysis come from not keeping up with needed adjustments to the analysis to meet changing conditions. Now, the job analysis can simply be outdated.